1 in 5 adults experience life with mental health. 1 in 25 adults experience life with a serious mental illness. This is according to NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. This bill, Assembly number 4592, requires health curriculum for public schools for it to be included for kindergarten through 12th grade. This was sponsored by John F. McKeon and then Raj Mukherjee. In terms of this, I've done a lot of research and I've also experienced public health both in my school environment but also outside of my school environment, and to my peers and I that have experienced this, it has proved very helpful. So in this presentation, I will discuss the benefits that it will play to emotional intelligence, the role that it might play in rising suicide rates in New Jersey, and also a glimpse of the opposing argument and why some people are worried about this. I would just like us all to remember that this would be included in K through 12, and we all graduated high school not long ago. Shania mentioned that she has younger siblings. I'd imagine a lot of you do, younger cousins, maybe the thought that you want to have children one day. So the decisions that we do make now are going to affect those people. So first, I will talk about how this will be included in schools and then how it could increase our emotional intelligence. So emotional intelligence to children isn't as broad as it is to us. So to them, it's kind of just emotions. You understand emotions, you learn how to deal with them, you learn how to kind of manipulate them. So in those younger grades, it would be implemented because of the law. Quote, the instruction of mental health must be adapted to the age and understanding of the students, unquote. This is from the bill itself. The children would have to understand what's being taught to them. So one way to incorporate this is social emotional learning, which is the basics. You can see this chart here. The basics, it would show you self-awareness, self-management, decision-making, and just different ways to kind of understand yourself and your emotions, because at this age, your main idea is to react. If you were told that there are other ways to do it, like understanding how you're feeling and talking it through, it might help. In older grades, of course, it would change. The risk of substance abuse, alcohol use, things of that nature are introduced, which also this can help with that. In schools, when actively and explicitly used, there was a 57% increase in developed skills because they're learning how to just manage emotions. And then 27% more improved academically, and then 24% more improved in their emotional well-being. Next is why this is so important for middle and high schoolers, because of rising suicide rates. Right now in New Jersey, suicide is the 3rd leading cause among New Jersey teens. This is from the New Jersey Health Assessment data. In 2017, the report was published because it's 2 years prior. And according to NJ's 2017 Youth Suicide Report, the suicide rates are increasing in children 10 to 18. So they are on the rise. You can see it started to go down and continue to come back up. The reason that it's so important to talk about mental health, for me personally, when I was in school, there was a lot of stigma around going to our counselors and talking to people. And when I did try to go, they were usually busy or in meetings for kids with the emotional learning disabilities and things like that. So they were usually too busy. So I almost ended up being part of this statistic. My junior year of high school, I was hospitalized, and then after I was released, I was put in outpatient care for 3 months. And within those 3 months, I can tell you, just being consistently absorbed in an environment that just taught me how to understand my emotions and talk about them every day was very helpful. And then coming back to school, I talked to my teachers about it, and they all made it a point in their classrooms to kind of talk to us and make sure that we were okay before following their lessons. Next is some reservations that some parents might have. I found in a website called Medium, which is a data talking thing. This one mother, Leah Harris, quote, Mandating mental health education for youth without addressing the root causes of their distress is like slapping a Band-Aid on a gaping wound, unquote. Some parents are very worried that this isn't personal enough, that when you just kind of include emotional learning and mental health overall in schools, that it won't specifically address their kids, and for some reason their kids will think that this is enough and they don't need to go talk to others. But in terms of social emotional learning in younger grades and then bringing it up to actual mental health in older grades, you are at least opening their eyes to how to understand emotions. A lot of the times people will talk to you about what resources are available if you listen. So in terms of that, it's very helpful. Another reservation that some people have is that things like the Second Floor Youth Helpline or the Trevor Project exist, so why does it need to be included in our schools? Those are things that you have to go out and text and call and reach out for. They're not something at your fingertips that's part of your everyday curriculum. Another quote that I have is NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Health. They said, quote, "Schools provide a unique opportunity to identify and treat mental health conditions by serving students where they already are," unquote. This is really important, like I said, because they have to go to class, they have to listen. So after all of that and some possible downsides, I hope you do understand that this will be helpful in the long run, because while being nervous about it, it will be helpful. I discussed social emotional learning, rising suicide rates, and the reasons that it might not be wanted. I've spent the past few minutes talking about the controversy of including mental health in hopes that you'd kind of understand. And the majority of us want to be teachers. Be the person that you wanted when you were in school.